Asus has been doing quite a lot of interesting things lately. And this that I have right here, this is yet another one of them. It's the Vivobook 13 Slate OLED, and it's basically a tablet PC running full Windows 11 with the key highlight being that OLED display. World's first, as Asus claims, which is interesting to say the least. But unfortunately, there's just one major flaw with this device that, just based on that alone, I just cannot recommend this to anyone at all. Before we get into the reason as to why I cannot recommend this, I do want to mention that there are actually quite a lot of things that I really like on the Vivobook 13 Slate OLED. But if you don't want to listen to all of that and you just want to get straight into the reason as to why I cannot recommend this and the one major flaw about this, just go ahead and use the chapters down below and skip to that. In very simple terms, this is similar to the Surface Pro from Microsoft. It's basically a tablet PC, 2-in-1, detachable, you name it. So you can use it like a tablet by itself without any additional accessories, or you can attach all those accessories and use it like a laptop. But yet, it is still providing you the full Windows 11 experience no matter how you use it. Which, on that note, I would say that it's actually pretty nice, for Windows 11 does implement quite a number of new features which play very nicely with a touchscreen in mind. But first things first, let's talk about what you actually get with the Vivobook 13 Slate OLED, because this is one point which I can really commend Asus for. Unlike Microsoft, everything that you would want with the device itself, it all comes bundled together in a single package. But just to take note that the accessories that does come bundled with it might differ from country to country, region to region. Now you probably won't be getting this fancy acrylic case, so don't go thinking that. But even so, in the standard retail packaging, you'll of course get the unit itself with the accompanying 65W USB-C charger, but you'll also get a sleeve, a stand, the Asus Pen 2.0 as well as a holder for it, and the detachable keyboard with a trackpad. All in all, you're pretty much covered on every front on how you would use this. But back to the Vivobook 13 OLED itself. And I have to say that it has a pretty stylish design that gives a little bit of character while still remaining really minimalistic. I honestly quite like it, and you pair it with the cover and keyboard, the simple kind of cyberpunkish digital design adds even more character. The bezels aren't too large either, but neither is it too thin. I personally find it just about right to allow your fingers and thumb to hold onto it when you're using it like a tablet without accidentally touching the screen. Now this is also where you'll find the front-facing camera, and it's actually 5 megapixels. And as you can tell, the image quality is actually rather great. It's pretty sharp and definitely better than most of the competition out there. As for the microphones, they are also rather decent as well, so overall it makes for a rather great experience using the webcam. Though on the back, you will also find a 13 megapixel camera as well, which you can use to take photos and as such, should you want to do so. Personally, I wouldn't do that. Now, despite being quite the thin device, you still get a decent amount of ports. 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C ports, a micro SD card reader, and a 3.5mm combo jack. As it can be used as a tablet, you do also get a side-mounted power button which also acts as a fingerprint reader and a volume rocker as well. However, the most amazing thing about the Vivobook 13 Slate OLED is in the name itself, the OLED display. This display right here is just simply amazing. It's downright gorgeous. It's a 13.3-inch OLED touchscreen display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 at 60Hz. It's 10-bit, covers 100% of the DCI-P3 color gamut, a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, a peak brightness of 550 nits with support for HDR True Black 500, and it's also Pantone validated. In short, this display is fantastic for just about anything. But where it truly shines is definitely when you're consuming content. Watching your favorite series or movie on Netflix, it really shows. Colors just pop and everything is just so much more visually appealing. Dark scenes especially stand out even further than usual thanks to the basically infinite contrast ratio. Heck, even your everyday YouTube videos look so much better. OLED is truly something different, and you have it on your TVs to now your smartphones and now your tablets and PCs. It's just great. On that note, you can even squeeze out just a tad more battery life if you just have a black wallpaper. Since with OLED, the pixels just turn off. though even if not, you can easily get over 7 hours of battery life with general daily use. But now, at this point, all the good things come to an end, because we now have to talk about the one reason why I cannot recommend this, and it's got everything to do with the specifications. We have the maxed out model here, and it sports an Intel Pentium Silver and 6000, 8GB of LP DDR4X RAM running in dual channel, and a 256GB NVMe PCIe 3.0 SSD. Firstly, RAM maxes out at 8GB, and yes, while it's dual channel, which is great, it's still just 8. There's no option for 16 here. Storage wise, while 256GB is the maximum, you can expand via the use of USB-C with an external SSD and as such, so that's not too bad. The main issue here is that Pentium N6000. It's just not good enough. Featuring just 4 cores and 4 threads with a base clock of 1.1 GHz, you can tell it's not great. Even more so when it even doesn't reach its advertised boost clock of 3.3 GHz at all, even on a single core. In Cinebench R23, scores are pretty much an all-time low, and it really shows. Even just using it for day-to-day standard tasks, you really feel that the processor is just, for lack of a better word, slow. And that's the experience plugged in. If you're to run it off the grid, which you'll be doing more often than not given most of its use cases, the performance is even worse. Simple websites take far too long to load. YouTube, for instance, would sometimes take up to 15 seconds just to load the main homepage. Multitasking with different programs would chug it even further. The new Asus Pen 2.0 is honestly pretty great, featuring 4096 pressure levels along with a 266Hz sampling rate, and USB-C charging with multiple tips to choose from. While not to the level of the Apple Pencil or Webcam just yet, it's darn close. But yet, it's only ever good for taking notes. Once you start adding layers, colors, edits and more in either Photoshop or Lightroom, the processor just can't keep up. Don't even bother about playing games on it either, despite the awesome OLED display. You are getting single-digit frames right on the home menu in CSGO, and we don't even need to talk about Genshin. Both are downright unplayable. And that's my main gripe about it. The Vivobook 13 Slate OLED has pretty much everything that I would want in such a device. Everything except for that processor. The processor basically ruins the entire experience. Asus should have at least put an Intel Core i3 in my opinion with a TDP of 15W or so. You might take a slight hit in battery life, but performance is going to be so much better, especially off the grid. Thus, I can't recommend it. I just can't. It was honestly frustrating to use as a daily driver even for just really generic things. If I was just watching a video, it was amazing for sure. That OLED is definitely the main highlight. But anything apart from that, and you can really start to feel the blocks falling apart despite everything else that's amazing about it. So here's my honest opinion. I really do like this, and I can see where Asus is going with this. It even starts at a great price of just under $600 and I understand that the choice of CPU allowed that price in the first place. In addition, all the accessories are included within that sticker price, which is very commendable. But at its current state, it just breaks my heart. It really does. If Asus do plan on releasing a second generation of this product down the line, I would say that at the moment, I can think of 2 suggestions that I would like to share and would like to see implemented in the future. Now the first, of course, is that CPU. That Pentium processor has got to go. I would like to at least see a Core i3 or even a Core i5 or perhaps even a Core i7, depending on how they do it, but a Core i3 would have made a huge difference and would have made this so much more usable. At least a Core i3. But the second point, and I would think it's actually much more interesting, is that I would like Asus to give us the ability to use this as an external monitor and give us a display input. Because let's face it, no matter what kind of specifications you have in your device, 3 or 4 years down the road, it's going to get slower as technology advances and you have better stuff out there. But that display is still going to be pretty great. That OLED display is the highlight of this device. So I would actually like to see a display input, because even if you use it now, if let's say you have this and perhaps a laptop of the sorts, especially when you're traveling, you can use it as an external monitor, and I think that's going to be really awesome and make it so much more versatile. and when it's 4 or 5 years down the road, when it doesn't really perform anymore, you can just use it as a monitor. So, Asus, I think that would be a great idea. Do give us a display input. But in any case, at this moment in time, I just can't really recommend this. Even at just under $600 which is quite the bargain and quite commendable that they can include all the accessories and everything with the Vivobook 13 Slate OLED, I think, yeah, I just can't recommend it. It just doesn't perform. Unfortunately, it is what it is. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to, do check out the affiliate links in the description as well. If you do, thanks for support. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. Till the next one. See ya!